Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
This is The Long War. I'm Robbie B, and joining me tonight are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher, Mike Haspel. We have cousin Austin Wingfield making an appearance throughout the show. And of course, we'll have a special guest, Reece Robbins, appearing at the bottom half of the show. What's up, everybody?
What's up?
Haspel.
I am doing all right.
Have you heard that Rick and Morty season 3 is coming soon?
I did, yeah. They said like before 2017.
Yes. So I just wanted to put that out there for everyone, for all my fellow squanchers.
They also did say that they're not doing another interdimensional cable on season 3, which disappoints me.
No, I love those episodes.
I know. I always wondered how a plumbus got made, and they showed me. So it was really cool.
It's funny, they made fun of themselves in that second one where they were doing the transplant.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I don't know how we could possibly top the first one, but here we are again.
Dude, that one where the guy's doing like the fake doors is the fake doors warehouse.
Yeah. And the personal space show.
The personal space. Anybody who doesn't know Rick and Morty, it's our jam. It is literally our shit. Not a day goes by I don't think about it.
Mr. Poopy Pants. That's my favorite episode of all time. Yeah, Mr. Poopy Butthole.
Mr. Poopy. I mean, everything is so popular. I have like the Moon Men song stuck in my head for like 2 weeks last week.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, enough about Moon Men. Let's do this thing.
So we obviously have a good show for everybody tonight. I feel like we got Talking LVO with Reece, but before we get to that, we got some new releases, some tabletop market watch, if you would, and we'll probably throw some 2 cents in on the Sisters and Custodes whole formation drop.
I have 5 cents on that. So,
all right, we got a solid nickel coming your way here with cousin Austin's segment. So first up, next week, we have a whole slew of stuff coming out, and we were talking about it on a webcast. You know, people are like, "Yo, when do you think Magnus is coming out on some chaos?" I would imagine we'll see some craziness right that week after Black Friday, and then it'll just go into straight holiday releases. But this week is the 6th, count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 6th of the Age of Sigmar models out of Silver Tower. So you've got those guys coming in hot. They're $25 each, and I know Kenny's doing the math on this right now. He's like, wait a minute, Silver Tower.
What?
Silver Tower is.
Tell me how much money right now.
Silver Tower is $150 by itself, and now you've got the 6 models are $25 each, which equals $125 or $150 rather. So solid deal, because you still get the Gaunt Summoner, you still get the Thaumaturs, and you still get all the little Sangors and little guys running around in the Silver Tower extra in miniatures.
Sounds to me like GW deserves all the hugs and handies that we can possibly give them.
At least one for each of us. There's 4 coming your way, GW. So that is a solid release. If you check out the rules, they're already posted in the Age of Sigmar. Well, if you go to their individual product page on GW, you can always get their PDFs. They also have points already in the app. The app, if you paid the extra and you get the points, they're like, some of them are 80 points, some of them are 100 points, but they're all in there. You can check them out. Solid release. They got the corn mat coming in. How fresh is that corn mat looking, Austin? Like, I'm feeling it.
I can't believe that they are finally doing thematic kind of mats like that. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I think it's probably, now some people are like, yo, why would they do this when they make these tile boards and things? And I mean, like, yo, what would you rather buy, $85 mat or a $300 tile board? You know what I mean? That you have to paint still. So,
well, just like we've been talking about kind of off air some too, GW is seeing probably the success of mats, and I mean they can do it just as good as anybody else. So I don't see why they're not. I'm glad they are doing it.
Yeah, I mean, it turns out $1 million company has access to some resources that some of these other companies out there probably are not going to be able to get to. So jumping into the releases for the week after, we've got a whole bunch of stuff, mostly hobby type things. So you got the Artificer tint set, which is really interesting because they named the tints after 10 of the Primarchs. So you don't have to think about, hey, what color is Rogel Dorn? You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's probably yellow. Just little silly stuff like that. They got that Citadel repair tool, which is like the seam scraper plus a place to put glue that attaches to your keychain for $20.
I feel like I'm going to buy that because the chip in my head is telling me to.
It seems functional too, like, hey, this is a good idea.
Yeah, well, it's what happens at every tournament. Hey, man. Hey, bro, you got glue?
Yo, you got glue?
That happens every single time. So I'm like, this time I can go, yes, I do.
A lot of times if you don't scrape and get that, you're gluing paint to paint, you still got to scrape it, so the seam scraper really comes into handy there too, or the miniaturized version of it. The Age of Sigmar hero bases and the 40K hero bases are coming in fresh for $35. They look tight, like they're all 3-dimensional. They kind of remind me of those bases that the Primarchs and the character models come on for Forge World. Obviously not as detailed because resin versus plastic, but you guys know what I'm talking about, like the 3-dimensional ones. They're like kind of like one's a wrecked Leman Russ turret, and they just look dope. I feel like
I literally have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't believe that. I know you read my site.
I do. Do you watch my stream? Do you watch my
I do. Not every week, but I do.
Not there. That's my. I don't read every article.
I don't even read every article.
You call me on the phone and you say, Kenny, what colors did you use? Anytime I say it's in that video, you literally sigh. I'm like, all right, God damn it. It was these 3 colors. Like, that's the relationship we have.
The reason I call you is so you just tell me the colors.
I know. And I call you when I need to know how many dollars Silver Tyler costs. That's when I call you.
Well, we have complementary skill sets, I guess.
Well, it is the new era. I'm educating myself currently on these, and Rob, these are freaking awesome.
What, the new bases?
Oh yeah, I'm looking at hero bases right now. Oh yeah, they're pretty sweet, man.
I think I can't wait to get them in my hands and take a solid look at them. I want to use.
Kenny, they're somatic, so they're not boring. They're not just circular objects. That's all I can tell you.
What did you say? Cinematic?
This is Cousin Austin.
It almost sounded like you said it was semantics, and I was like, wait, what?
Hey, Cousin Austin says what he wants to. Okay.
I mean, you willed me to understand the meaning of the word through your just abilities, but
this is context. He's a context master.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't know what I'm saying either. So.
No, I'm into it. I mean, in true juice fashion.
So there's speaking of terrain, there's a few more pieces here. So you got the Hamatrope reactors, which are those crazy like things that supposedly run on oil and blood. Double pack coming out.
I was like, hemotrope. I'm trying to break that down. I'm like, hemoglobin,
tropin.
Oh my god, I'm into that. Is this a blood generator?
I think so.
I'm sure it's gonna give you it's gonna be a buff machine. That's what I'm assuming, right?
Ooh, like a wolfer.
They say they're mixing like the blood of saints and martyrs with promethium, and that's how it like works. It's like some insane 40K stuff.
I'm thinking it's gonna be like a giant zealot bubble.
That'd be cool.
I'm just making stuff up because I'm cool like that. Okay.
The zealot bubble. I'm with it.
Yeah, I can get behind that. And then for Age of Sigmar, they have a re-release of the Belwyn Vortex and the Mage Wrath Throne. Those are really, really good terrain pieces.
I mean, they're beautiful and they're like the coolest things they've come out with. But those are the old Arcane Fulcrums, right? From Storm of Magic.
Yep, almost 5 years old, 4 years old.
I'm the fantasy king, okay, and they killed it. So I've got all that on a shelf. So it's coming back, baby.
Oh, I might need to borrow some of them from you.
We'll talk.
Then there's some other various things like cube dice, wound trackers, which is really interesting. I can't wait to see some pictures of those. They're re-releasing the Ultimate Paint Set for a mere $700. Haspel, you getting that one?
I am not going to get that one, even though the chip is going off in my head.
I'm also gonna be passing on the $700.
Or for a mere $230, you can get a selection of those paints and the Citadel project box.
I like the Citadel project box. I think that's a cool place to dump all your stuff in, especially when you're like just going from your Beats lab and you're going to paint at the store for a hobby night or something like that. It's perfect for that. But man, I got to tell you, my wallet right now, it's down to the final wounds. It's used up all its invul saves. It's not doing well.
Oh no.
I need to recover. It's got like one wound left. So I'm not buying a whole lot of anything for a little while. So
My wallet has it will not die.
That's all right. I'm gonna throw 4 dice at my lay leech power to save you, Haspel, if you need it. Okay.
All right.
But in a very real sense, guys, I am literally homeless right now. So metaphors aside, I have $700 in paints and no tent.
You're like living in the box that GW sent the paints in.
Fighting cats for the box because they want to get in it too. And then
when you describe real quick the project box,
yes,
I have one of them.
Do you?
We're just talking about a desk, right? Is that what you mean by
yes
GW project?
Actually, for you, I would think it would be more like a just a random box that's completely one side's blown out, perhaps only held together with duct tape or no, not even duct tape, like the shrink wrap plastic that you didn't even tear all the way off is the only thing holding one of the sides together.
I've got many boxes that you just described around my bees lab.
And all of your paints, your tools, and the miniatures you're going to paint for the day are in that, and you're going to drive to the local store to paint. Oh,
I don't paint at local stores. You kidding me? I need a very controlled environment to do my best work. And liquor. So like that's
mostly liquor.
It's kind of they look down on it when I'm drinking out of my flask at the local G store.
I need at least 10 parts per million cat hairs in my painting environment.
Yes, he needs literally every model at every stage of painting to infuriate him because he found yet another cat hair now adhered to the paint.
I keep tweezers. They're like, why do you have so many tweezers everywhere? And I was like, well, I'm always finding cat hairs.
I had Rob build. What was the army you built for me? And I was like, no.
I don't remember.
I was like, I had to take I just took all the models and put them in a huge dish strainer and just washed them in the sink.
That's funny. My armies all have. I cake glue on my guys because I'm a speed gluer, and I'm now I don't paint first of all, and I'm forbidden to glue now. So
Wow.
I don't do anything.
You're the project director.
I am. I'm a project manager.
I've done a couple gigs for our good friend Steve Turner, and in the last few years, I've painted a couple things for him. And I told him the same thing. I was like, if you're ever going to send me another thing to pay for you, you can't build it. He's like, but dog, check out these conversions. It's like,
that's not a conversion.
That is, I mean, yes, but look at all this glue. Like, why am I even here? Like, what? Like, what?
Hey, battle damage, dog. It's battle damage.
It looks like Cronenberg attack.
Well, we're getting past that. We'll try to keep things in a cat-free, controlled environment when we're done for the hobby jam. Put it in the hobby cabinet, the hobby project cabinet. So we're getting a little better, I feel like, around here. But so that is all of the new releases, as far as I know. Now, I imagine as we get closer to Black Friday, we'll see all sorts of sales from every company out there, and it'll get a little hectic. Would you say up in the hobby?
I would say it's getting hot in here.
Getting hot in here.
I would say, why has it got to be black? But I'm just joking.
That's funny. It's my response to that always is because it's black.
Because it's Black Friday.
It literally is black. I mean, it's Black Friday.
That is the reason. That's why.
Oh my God!
It might be a business term. I'm just saying.
Could have something to do with profits and coming out of the red.
I think profits have 2 apps in them. I'm pretty sure.
I thought profits were just green.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't it just be Green Friday?
Sometimes I hate you all. It's like classical training thrown out the window. There it goes. Bye. Let's talk about food.
So, in feces today.
in other feces news, where's Juice when we need him? Oh no!
I know.
All right,
He's on a cruise right now. Guaranteed, he ate way too many shrimp.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my God! Mark it. 7:50 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the 2nd day of November. I'm going to ask him exactly what he was doing at this moment.
Yeah. Well, he's well deserved. I mean, he's been doing community service. He's been working like a boss. So it's well deserved.
Oh no, he earned it. I hope he comes back to us refreshed, having slept a couple of nights and ready to rock some WarCon at LVO in February.
Is that what he's running?
That's what he says he's running.
I'm going to talk him out of it.
But in a lot of ways, I said I was running orcs no matter what, and I'm starting to feel like that's not going to happen.
No. Watch. I'm going to finish my Gene Stealer army, and I'm going to convince him to run it.
To run WarCon?
No, he's going to run Gene Stealer.
Oh, he talks about it. He sleep streams Gene. He said basically if he wasn't already so deep in WarCon, like he's like Gene Stealers all day, every day.
Yo, dog, the Wobbly Modelers are here. We have a sharing commune of armies, and hey, you know what? He can take my army for a whole year if he wants.
How many Chaos armies do you guys have?
Currently, we have...
How many Chaos Warbands?
Not one. We don't have one. 0 built.
We don't have those. When we say armies, we mean Tripartite Lance, Librarians, Conclaves, 25 Wyverns.
We currently own 20 Wyverns and 12 Earthshakers. You know,
gosh,
not 9 Night Titan. Yeah, it's pretty nasty. I don't know if you guys have seen the Renegades that Kinder's put together.
I did. So I'm on the Spikey Bits hobby group.
Holy shit.
The Glotkin Knight.
Straight up Glotkin.
This is what's funny is because, like I said, I'm the master manager of our projects. I don't do anything. I just purchase things. So I sparked up an argument between Josh Kinder and Kelsey Haley because Battle for Salvation, both of them won painting awards, but for different things. Kelsey got the conversion and Kinder got the best model, I think, or vice versa. Anyway, I ended up buying 2 Glotkins and handing both of them multiple Titans so that they can compete against each other in conversions. But they all belong to me. So I am the ultimate winner.
Yeah, I was like, I think you win. I haven't seen Kelsey's version yet.
Well, Kelsey's
it's called the Austin Open 2017.
I like it.
Only two men enter. Both men are free to leave, but not with their models.
Yeah. Those are all mine. Kelsey's like scratch building it from green stuff, and he's got like a zombie pilot, kind of like a Dread Knight. It's going to be cool, but obviously Kelsey time is not. It'll literally be done in 3 years. So
he needs more Kraken to keep motivated. I feel like I know what motivates him.
Yeah, that's the fuel in the fire.
Kraken.
So I'll update you guys.
What does he put crack on? And cheeseburgers? Oh, you said Kraken.
Yes,
Kraken.
The dirty spiced rum.
Because Kelsey thinks he's a pirate.
I mean, I'm not going to tell him otherwise. Have you seen him? He's like 8 feet tall.
Yeah, but he doesn't have a beard.
Remember that time I was like super like thinking I was Billy Badass. I'm like, yeah, I drink a lot, whatever. And I was like, Kelsey, I got you. I can drink you under the table. And like, it was like 2 or 3 in the morning. I'm like, dude, how come you're not drunk? And he's like, I'm buzzed. And I was like, you weigh like 200 pounds more than me.
Well, we've all seen Kelsey, twisted. It just takes him a little longer than you, Rob.
Yeah.
But it catches up.
It does happen.
I saw him obliterate himself on Bud Light Platinum.
Yeah, I saw him obliterated at Adepticon.
I am the king of platinum, and he was not ready.
No, he wasn't ready for those platinums.
He wasn't. They're called Platty Daddies for a reason.
Yeah, he was plastered out.
I was like, you should be ashamed of yourself, Kelsey. I am.
How many of us do you think it would take to move him if he became immobile?
Well,
Austin. Austin's done it.
I've done it before. I've done it with Kelsey and Kinder on 2 separate occasions.
Oh my gosh!
Let's just say
this is. So if you guys are not going to Adepticon because you're like, I don't have anyone going to, we're all going to be at Adepticon, and this is exactly what happens we do this every Adepticon. We're going to go places. Things are going to be said that you can never repeat. But
Mostly
you know
everything.
a lot of things. So if none of your friends are going to the con, don't worry because we're going and we're your friends.
Hell yeah,
That's the invite we always extend.
Come find Cousin Austin. I'll be your cousin.
Oh God, that's just the way you said that.
Yeah, I'm like, now I don't want to go.
Yeah, like, I'll be your cousin.
I'll be your cousin.
Oh God, it's so brutal.
You guys started.
All right, so let's talk about some Custodes.
So what do you guys? Are you guys liking them, right?
I think they're better than they were.
What do you mean?
I like.
Yeah, what does word mean?
Well, you
What do
couldn't
you mean?
play
We had
technically-
Custodes before.
Obviously, they came out with a formation that said, "Hey guys, take these."
Yeah, I mean,
he's just talking about rules in general. Like, yeah, we can play them. You can play up to 3 units of them. They have a potentially an invulnerable save. I think that they are super Space Marines. Don't look at them as anything else. They have the rules that support that. They're very balanced. The fact that you can't have the Storm Shield and the AP2 weapon is a balance. It's balanced. I don't think that making Death Stars out of them is worth a damn.
No.
I think that's not what they're for. I think 5 of them deep striking in your backfield is amazing. Very tough little unit, 2-up saves, T5, Eternal Warriors. I think that's awesome. Like, I think they're a cool little unit.
So I'll jump in. Like, obviously, it's been a long time since we've seen Paladin stars like running around the table with Drago and all that. Now these are cheaper and maybe
they're a worse Paladin star. That's what we talked about last week.
So you think they're worse for real?
Every Paladin has strength 10 AP2 attack. Like, every Paladin has
That's a force weapon, by the way.
That's also a force weapon. So every Paladin has Feel No Pain built into the unit already. Every Paladin, you can have 16 side cannon shots. Like, even though there's some situations where you're going to kill Paladins a little bit easier, they're like, when is a Paladin star? When's the last time a Paladin star won 40K?
Well, I'm letting you know. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've seen.
It's been
this,
a long time.
If you're putting a star, and we've seen there's Cabal stars and Conclave stars. I mean, if you put 2 Conclaves in a unit of 10 of these guys are better than the Paladins. Like, the powers that are going off are going to benefit this unit more than the Paladins, just due to the fact that they have some cooler rules.
Yeah, the thing is, they need, but don't forget, now a unit of 5 people coming out of escape pads turning out your second powers off exists.
Yeah, that's a problem, and you're gonna want to combo these with sisters. All right,
I gotta hit you with a Yo Dog. I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying that I'm saying people that are running Paladins and running Grey Knights and stuff are gonna start splashing this in and have some success, and we'll have fun, and they'll see some tabletop. They're not gonna win any events, and they're not gonna like hurt anybody's feelings.
We're saying the same thing. Like, they're fun and they're balanced. They are basically a Paladin star that takes more combos to be good than a Paladin star takes. But having said that, a Paladin star hasn't been good in some years. It's not the type of Death Star that wins games, but it is cool. It is cool.
You beware, you're going to see these on the tabletop because it's 1 to 3 in the formation. Like Kenny said, they're great backfield busters. The sisters are amazing. If you're even
sisters are a different story. You're talking about 75-point investment to have 5 times the board coverage of 1 Kilex's assassin.
Yeah, I think they're probably point for point one of the better, below 100-point units in the game.
Yeah, I have to absolutely agree. I'm like, for 3 of the to take that formation maxed out, it's 225, man.
Which also is like affordable.
It's super affordable, and
you can just take 1 unit though in the formation.
Yes, you can. But the thing is that I think a lot of people are looking like, oh well, you can't Alpha Strike with them. They're not Alpha Strike. Let your buddies let them cast psychic powers.
Yeah, you want to be
turn 2 and 3 when they're in the midfield. That's when the sisters hit them and just shut everything down, and then they're screwed. And they are really effective with some certain combos. I mean, folks have been overlooking for a few points. You can get the stupid, cargo crates. Well, now you've got sisters with heavy flamers that are torrent, like for
I love that.
And they're shutting down psychic powers. It's brutal, and folks are overlooking their sword. That's AP2. Now, granted, I think if you're assaulting with them, that's probably wrong. But you can certainly have 1 or 2 swords in there as a deterrent.
There's definitely some play. Like I'm not seeing a lot of people take the Calexis and they'll stop and they'll start taking the unit.
Yeah, well, a lot of people who are on the edge of not taking a Calexis because of his point tag are now just this decision's been made for them now.
Yeah, I agree with that. As a majority, like running the full detachment and running multiple units, I don't see the survivability. You're not going to be able to hide all of them in a bunker. And they don't currently have a dedicated transport or anything that they can start the game in. So I really wish they had a drop pod. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, it would be useful and tactical. I'm just like, almost every army I play has a bunker with an escape hatch just because it's so flexible.
It's very functional. I think it's
like better than any Rhino. It's like, literally, even if you just put one of your scoring units in it on an objective, then fling them across the table, then the next one hides in. It's so many shell games you can play with it. I'm just like, these sisters are going to be everywhere, like literally everywhere, which makes me sad because I play a very psychic dependent style of chaos. It makes me sad because I'm like, well, there it is. It was a good run, guys. Like, I just got my Cyclopia Cabal. Well, it's a good run, guys.
So I've got a question we can close out the show with for you guys, and we can run it down. How much do you think the sisters will be when they come out separately for sale? Because we all know they're probably going to come out just like the Betrayal at Cal stuff. And when do you think they're going to drop the separate units? Remember last year they did it in the summer.
Why do you always ask us these boring questions when we're trying to talk rules right now?
Rules.
I don't know what GW does. They're going to be $50 at least because they're going to see that everyone wants them. Like, it's going to be $50 for 5 guys minimum.
It honestly, I think it depends on whether or not Plastic Sororitas comes out before Plastic Sisters of Silence. I think if the Sororitas come out first, then the Sisters of Silence will be cheaper. If they come out before the Sisters of Battle, they'll be more expensive.
Yeah, I can concur with you.
Yeah, and having said that, I think it'll be 6 months before we see individually packaged Prospero stuff. You heard it here first.
Mike Haspel knows.
I don't know what I'm talking about. So.
Hashtag Haspel knows.
But I'm just guessing that they want to get through their inventory for Prospero.
Hashtag Haspel always knows.
So I'm gonna hop back on that rule.
Yeah, please, Austin, because I know you. I know you were about to say it. You were about to tell me.
I was going to tell you, I ain't worried about shit.
I ain't worried about shit. I knew you were going to say that.
and literally, because I've been playing, I was at Nova and had to play Calexis, half the freaking time. And I have a Cabal with my Renegades. And really what happens now for me is people are going to be forced to take the cheaper version. They're going to take a 5-wound Calexis, basically. But I'm all blast, dog. Like, I get more hits on you now. I don't have to snap fire at you. Like, they're literally going to die. Like, I hide in a corner. Your escape hatch doesn't do anything. So I feel like the ranged armies, Tau can sit back and not care. Obviously, things aren't really going to worry about.
Yeah, as we defined, you're always going to be able to play around the Calexis. You're always gonna be able to play, even in a drop pod. It's so easy to play around. Like, drop pod, honestly, in my opinion, blows the load too early. Like, it's just like, oh, there it is, got it, fixed, got it.
To put it in perspective, if there is a rules thing, in my opinion, because they say they are a part of every army of the Imperium, which to me, and it says they ally as such. To me, if they're part of they're part of Space Wolves, so they're battle brothers. That's in my opinion, but not sure if people are going to play it like that. If you can put max out this and put them all in pods, you can drop 2 on turn 1 and 1 on turn 2. Like, that's pretty good.
Who can't kill 5 toughness 3 people?
I mean, pretty much everybody in the game can.
Like, it's actually harder to kill the Calexis Assassin than a unit of like 10 of these. Like,
yes,
the Calexis Assassin is hard to kill. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm just gonna shoot this mofo. Like,
that's funny. I shoot him with Earthshakers all the time.
You shoot everything with Earthshakers.
The fucker is, but I mean, it's I just think just be aware of it because now everyone who was on the fence, that's my main thing. Everyone who's on the fence about the price tag of Lexus is going to have now a backdoor answer for Psychic Death Stars.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so unfortunately, the person that affects the most is Chaos Cabal, like a Cabal Death Star. You don't play a Cabal Death Star; you play Cabal support.
I do play Cabal support.
So your Cabal doesn't have to be nowhere near the front lines.
Absolutely.
So like that doesn't affect you, but like someone like me, who even if not playing normally I don't even play Cabal. I just play with 2 sorcerers and Bellicor running around. My normal Chaos army, Bellicor is the only thing in the army that's over 180 points. I just have a lot of units that do a lot of cool things, but it is about like a clutch endurance or a clutch shroud over here or clutch invisibility over here. But I got to be in your grill. I got to be all over the place. I got to be scoring objectives. It's like straight up one turn of this being turned off. It could be a disaster for me. And it's hard.
I agree that there's differences in play.
Yeah. So it sucks. It sucks being like a Chaos player, having more Psychic Prize out there, because it mainly affects us more. It's not going to in Space Marine Death Stars. They don't get it twisted. They still have 2 up saves and 3 up vulnerables and feel no pain.
This is my thing at a competitive event, especially like LVO that's coming up. That's got like 400 plus people now, and AdeptCon that's in the 200s. I don't think a lot of people aren't going to change their lists. They're not going to just start throwing this all over the place. So when you do see it, like the null rod's been a thing forever. And how many people take a null rod? You know how good that is in some games?
That's true.
Huge.
Like that, literally no psychic powers work. Everything's gone. Nothing works. Like it's one of the best items in the game, and no one uses it.
What's the range on a null rod?
I think I have to look. I'm not sure if it's a range, but it's definitely in combat.
I think it's close. Is it like in close combat or something?
Yeah, anything. So any Death Star, if a Cabal charges a unit and there's one 25-point Inquisitor with a null rod, none of the powers are off. They're all off. Nothing works.
Just turns it off.
So did everybody change their list to put a null rod in it? No. I'm not even sure people know. People are gonna be like, "Wow, that's actually really good." Now
it is really good. I'm gonna get one.
Yeah, so people are going to take them that like the models and that like you said, want a cheaper Calexis, but I don't think they're going to be showing up everywhere.
Well, so how do you think it stacks then? Sisters, Custodes, which ones are better?
Just off the usefulness will be Sisters.
Yeah, I have to go with Sisters.
As much as I want to see dope ass painted Custodes out there, and we've been waiting on these models for so many years. I think we're going to see more of the Sisters.
Do you remember everyone back in the day who would make Grey Knight armies but converted as Custodes?
Yep.
Now you can just do it. You can just be like, fuck it. I'm just like the Grey Knights.
I think technically there's still power armor versions of the models too. Not the big ass.
Do you think they're going to come out with Terminator versions?
I think these technically are Terminator versions.
What other power armor versions are Custodes? There's one that exists?
Yeah, they would run around with bolters and stuff. The guys that ride the jet bikes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So you think these are Terminators? So you think so? Will we see a whole bunch of fucking? Do you think this is coming? Think we're gonna get bikes?
Well, we might know as early as this weekend at the Warhammer Open because we're already seeing
Dreadnought. There was that Dreadnought in the background of that one picture.
Yeah, that you could be able to take the hover tank, the flying tank, some sort of gun platform. Kind of looks like a Sicaran that floats. Will be on sale, so they might unveil a whole bunch more stuff this weekend. Just don't know. But there's from the card game and all the artwork, there's all sorts of different things they can go. There's a lot. It's going to be dope because these guys, if they get their own jam, it's going to be fresh.
I'm sure there's worse things. I'm definitely sure there's worse things, Rob.
I just like stuff for the aesthetics and the look of it,
Well, the models look incredible, so that's a fact. I've had a lot of people. I know Stoner Steve hit me up and was talking about them, seeing if they're good or not. Like I said, I think a lot of Grey Knight players are excited because they feel like they were missing out. Because I've been sitting here waiting for Curse of the Wolf and 2 when the Grey Knights show up, and they haven't shown up yet. So people are getting excited, want to take these instead.
Yep. Everything will, 2017 is going to be an exciting time. So we'll see how it all shakes up. The there's all sorts of different ways to go with these in the hobby and counts as, out there right now. So it's going to be dope. I can't wait.
To see. Now you just mentioned counts as I was thinking, this weekend's Mechanicon. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Mechanicon.
Yeah.
Mechanicon's been getting smaller and smaller. So this is the big news. They have joined ranks with the Historical Miniatures Gaming Society, and they're actually part of Fallen this year in Pennsylvania. So, and if you guys know what Mechanicon does, they're literally running a GW tournament. So straight out of like Nottingham rules. Throwback all
like is it like gangster mode? Like if your Marines are red, you have to play them as Blood Angels. Like that gangster?
Not that gangster, but basically anything's allowed. They're actually using the GW packet.
So you can have unbound, you can have non-unbound.
It's unbound. So when you show up to the event, you can bring 5 different armies and write down which game you want to play each army. So, like, I want to play game 3 with my Night Titans. I want to play game 1 with my Grey Knights. I want to play game 3. So it's interesting how it's going to be run. So I'll let you know how it goes.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing!
Yeah.
So where is Fallen at this year? Is it in Gettysburg still, or?
I just know that. I know that Kelsey and Kendra are staying at the Knights Inn. I don't know where it actually is. It used to be in.
I've stayed at 40 Knights Inn. That doesn't tell me.
So I'm unable to go, sadly, because of playoffs are coming, and I couldn't miss another coaches meeting. So, but they're going to represent.
No doubt. Sounds like a bunch of fun. We'll get back to everybody with how that event went shortly.
Yeah, man.
A lot going on this weekend.
Hot in her. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously we're just killing time until we interview Reece.
I heard he's a big deal.
If you guys didn't know who he was, he's a big deal. So before we go on commercial break and we come back and interview the world famous Reece, I want to bring something up that's kind of important. Spikey Bits TV. On Twitch. Rob.
Hey, that's me.
Where you at?
Soon, very soon. We've been trying some stuff out. The latest Sisters and Custodes tips and tactics video that's up on YouTube right now. You can check it out. That was kind of like almost like a beta, like live stream kind of me getting used to all the controls and everything. Obviously it was more of a tips and tactics, but doing some transitions, doing some switches, learn on how to use the software on the fly and the 2-camera system. So it was pretty fresh. Hopefully we'll be on it sometime this month. Also, you might see a new Spikey Bits here.
Like literally today.
Yeah, it could be today, could be tomorrow, but you might go to the site and be like, oh, hey, this is different. So that's coming up soon, and then we'll have a mobile.
Admittedly, there may be, if there's any problems, hit refresh, and if there's any more problems, do it again, because it is being completely ported over to the new look and the new feel right now. So by the time you listen to this on playback, it's happening. It's happening.
It's gonna be dope. We're changing, we're doing all this stuff, changing it up just to give everybody a better experience, better reader experience, just get everything out there and more organized than what we've been doing. So,
are you saying it's an upgrade, Rob?
It is.
Did you know I like upgrades?
Is that what you do for a living? Upgrade people's lives?
That I actually, I'm handling damage claims now, so I get to deal with a lot of angry people and then replace their TVs. So they get an upgrade for sure.
That's what I'm saying. You upgrade lives.
Yeah, there you go. Making better tomorrows.
Well,
wait a minute.
That's somebody's, yeah. So since we're talking about Twitch, I'm going to take an opportunity to talk about Brushlickers United. That's my stream team. If you don't know what Twitch is, guys, it is live internet TV. It even has multiple Warhammer 40k, Age of Sigmar, in miniatures in general, streamers, channels, all the time. This stream team, Brushlickers, they're not the only people, but they are a lot of them. So if you are trying to look for some live TV, trying to see what someone else is doing to paint a model, if you want to follow along, I mean, it is a game changer. And as a quick segue from that, Mike Haspel. I wasn't going to go this episode without bringing up Graveyard Shift.
Yeah, thank you.
We're going to have that link out, but tell them about it.
Yeah, it's a crazy, book. They have it down in crime and police procedural supernatural, and that kind of describes it. It's basically, think of Seven meeting The Wire, but with vampires, werewolves, and mummies. So it's absolutely insane. Really hardcore book. It's on pre-order now at Amazon. Look for my name. It's spelled Haspil. If you spell it Haspel, you're going to get another guy with my name, but he writes about like the Protestant influence in the German Weimar Republic.
It's not that one.
So it's not that one.
I was wondering for like a follow up to your book, Haspel, if we can get it more on like a Law and Order, Britney Spears and Cats kind of theme, like keep the police procedural.
There's cats in there.
There is a shapeshifter that is a cat. That is true.
I want y'all to get big and have the GW crew make you a diorama about your book. Like build one of those cool things.
I'll settle for them giving me a Black Library contract.
There you go.
GW, you heard it here first.
Higher house.
All right, guys, let's hit this commercial break up. Let's get this interview out of the way. Grass.
Tastes bad.
Dear veterans, quickly make your way to thelongwar.net and find out how to reap your hard-earned spoils of this long war. For our allies at secretweaponsminiatures.com have rewarded us all with an extra 10% discount on all Secret Weapon Miniatures merchandise. So stock up, dear veterans, and enjoy. Dear veterans, quickly make your way to thelongwar.net and find out how to reap your hard-earned spoils of this long war. For our allies at dicehead.com have rewarded us all with an extra 6% discount on all dicehead.com merchandise. So stock up, dear veterans, and enjoy.
All right, guys, we're back. And tonight we are joined with the world famous, I want to say the commander. Is commander the right term for your rank in the organization, Reece?
I would say more like potato peeler.
You're the Frontline Gaming potato peeler.
It's Supreme Commander.
I used to title myself Head Slug. It's very similar.
There you go. I may be the best potato peeler, though. I'll go with that.
Nice. Well, we are. Words can't even express how I'm excited I am for LVO, which is obviously in February. Was it first weekend of February?
Yes, February 3rd to the 5th at Bally's Casino, right there on the Strip in Vegas. It's going to be badass.
And obviously, I'm introducing this guy like you don't know who he is. Obviously, you know who this guy is. You know what the LVO is by now. Unless you're that one guy. You're that one guy in Alaska. Who might not know
it under a rock.
I didn't want to go there because I don't know about the rock people, how they take offense to that. But if you live under a rock, you don't know who Reece is. You don't know about Frontline Gaming. You don't know about what they're doing. You don't know about the ITC. Now you know. And we're about to ask some questions to Reece. And I'm gonna jump right in. I'm gonna lead this off. I want to talk about LVO. LVO is huge, and I have heard very recently from you because I was recently a partied to a test Twitch stream where you guys tested your new live streaming format for LVO, and you were in there talking and chatting with the people, coming down to our potato peeler level. And you told me some interesting stuff in that chat, and I would like you to repeat what you said here about some of these numbers, if you could.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to. And just really quick to mention the streaming that we're going to be doing. Our lead on that, Mariana, she's a professional. She went to film school, and we managed to pick her up right as she was finishing up film school. And she's also a huge gamer and a nerd herself. But she's been working super hard on the stream, and if you guys have a chance, you might want to go back and check it out on our YouTube channel. Check out the overlay. It's pretty awesome. At the risk of bragging on her too hard, but she worked really hard on it, and it's going to make watching live 40K a million times more interesting because it's going to give you the score, who's playing, where they're from, what their army is. We got a picture-in-picture dice cam. It's going to make the viewing experience just so much more interesting and engaging. So definitely check that out and leave us some feedback. She's still fine-tuning it. So if you see something that you really like, you can leave a comment on the YouTube channel. It's the most recent video battle report on there.
No doubt. I imagine on Twitch, you guys are going to keep using the template as you move forward.
100%. We want to get as much repetitions as possible before the big show.
Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for you guys. Is that still your schedule?
Yeah, we usually do Tuesday night fight, but I think that the gang wants to move to a Friday night fight at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we're going to try and get as many reps as possible because we want to get the system fine-tuned. When it's go time at the LVO, Twitch has promised us front page nuts. Like when you go to twitch.com, you'll be seeing
their actual Twitch front page, not creative page or.
Yeah, no, it'll be the actual Twitch front page. It's like usually that can cost as much as $25,000 an hour, and they want to reach out and grow the tabletop gaming online community. So they're gonna. It looks like they might even send out some reps from the company to the event to help facilitate live streaming. And Games Workshop is going to be live streaming all day, every day at the event too. So the coverage of the event is going to be unprecedented.
Are they going to be streaming Age of Sigmar while you're streaming 40K?
They're going to be streaming both 40K and Age of Sigmar all day during the event. So you'll be able to watch two perspectives. We're not only streaming 40K and Age of Sigmar, we're also going to be giving airtime to Privateer Press, who they come out every year for the event. We've got Manta Games is going to be there. We've got Guild Ball. They're coming out from Scotland. Looks like Warlord Games is going to be there. We want to give airtime to all the awesome games, not just 40K and Age of Sigmar, but 40K will be the main event for sure, because that's where the biggest audience is.
As usual, but I do appreciate that you're spreading the love out amongst all of them. And I mean, this year at LVO seems to be the biggest LVO so far by multiple factors of 10, practically.
Yeah, it's like we were shocked actually. Like we were expecting like 25% growth, and it looks like we're going to hit 100% growth, which is crazy. It's crazy for an event to grow that much year over year. That's not from year one to year two. The 40K Championships, our flagship event. It's like the big dog event for what we do. It's our baby too, because that's Frankie and I. That's our love, is the 40K Championships event. We're at 440 registered right now. 440 people registered. Just for the 40.
Austin A-Dog was 440.
This is funny that you mentioned like the growth and congratulations on the enormity of your success. But somehow somebody talked me into flying to Vegas to play and roll some dice. So I'm one of those guys. I cannot wait, dude. I cannot wait. Your effort is amazing, and I appreciate everything you're doing.
I think most of us are going. Actually, I'm pretty sure Haspel's going. I'm going, and I think.
I'm going to win the whole thing with only 440 people there. That's
good odds.
It's a cakewalk, man. I feel like I can do it with sisters.
All right,
Boss, and I think Juice might be going too. So I mean, a lot of us, we're going to be there, checking out the scene, getting super stoked on it. Before we move on in this on this interview, I did want to bring up the fact that I did hear behind through grapevine that you guys were getting rid of a bunch of stuff, some of those amazing fat mats.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. We just signed a lease on a bigger facility for the company. Previously, we had like our office, our storefront, and our warehouse were different, all downtown San Diego, but they're like as much as like 12 blocks apart. So it's a pain in the butt trying to like run back and forth. And we consolidated all operations under one roof. So we're moving to a different part out of the city in San Diego, and we have a ton of inventory of mats, like several big rigs worth of inventory, and we just don't want to move it all. So we're running a moving sale, and we're cutting prices a lot, as much as 50% off. Or I'm sorry, as much as 33 to 40% off on some mats. It's a great time. If you want to pick up a mat, if you've been curious to take a look at them, or if you have some and you want to get some variety for your club. If you're a TO and you want to pick up some mats, if you order enough bulk, we'll give you wholesale pricing at the sale price. So it's really a good time to stock up because we just simply don't want to move thousands of pounds of mats.
Have you thought about selling it as wallpaper? Because I heard these mats look great on the walls, guys. You can hang it up as decorations. They're epic.
I have actually slept on a fat mat and used one as a blanket. One night we were playing Whiskey Hammer in the store with some buddies and had way too much to drive.
Now we're talking.
We slept in the store on the game table. I slept on the gaming table. They make a pretty good. Blanket.
It's official. You can roll dice on them, and they sleep comfortably.
They'll keep you warm. That's what counts.
If you're ever destitute as a hobo, you might pick up a couple fat mats to keep you warm.
That was actually going to be my Halloween costume, and Bonet, my lady, said I could not be a homeless person because she knew I was just going to go as my normal self. But now I can get a fat mat, and she won't even know.
Yeah, so if anybody does want to pick them up, just head over to frontlinegaming.org and click on the Fat Mat tab on our blog, and we would be happy to hook you up because the sale's going to run through November because we have to move. December 1st is the move date to get into the new store.
50,000 pounds. Everything must go.
So many pounds.
It's stupid. We were looking at it, and we were just like no way do we want to move this. Because our current warehouse doesn't even have a roll-up door. We'd have to literally carry them out like 10 at a time.
Yeah, that's
I ain't about that life.
No, that's a whole bunch of nope.
Yeah, we were like that's not happening. So save some money. It's a good time to do it.
Speaking of, because obviously you need to save money because we all enjoy GW product, and as you know, it's not cheap. But it does have the addictive qualities of crack cocaine.
It isn't cheap. But it's totally worth it. I know like some people will disagree with me on that, but I literally have the first model I ever bought. I bought it at Games Workshop in Cambridge when I was visiting my family. It's the first Dark Angels Captain from 2nd edition.
Yeah.
I have that model, and I still play with it on occasion.
You tell me Iron Wars Army still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I usually tell people if you compare that entertainment value of a GW model to say like a movie, you know what I mean? And then the GW model becomes exponentially cheaper because it provides just hours more of entertainment and it's still there.
I agree with you 100%. Even just having it sit in your miniature case, just look at it on occasion.
Looking at it makes you happy. Thinking about it makes you happy. Thinking about your new beats in your own beat slab makes you happy. And here's the best part. Like, let's say one day you're not happy with it anymore and you sell it. You can't sell your experience of the movies like 20 years from now.
And that miniature from 2nd edition, I could sell it for so much more money than I paid for it at the time. It's not even comparable.
Collectability is a big part. But speaking of GW, I want to ask you a big serious question because LVO, okay, like obviously going to be one of the biggest conventions of the year in history. Where are we at with the GW FAQ? Are you guys incorporated at all into your tournament structure as of yet, or are you still waiting until a final draft?
Yeah, man, we want to ratify it because I think that for the most part, GW nailed it. Like I think I don't agree with all the rulings, but I think in general they did a great job. And I'm willing to take the things I don't like as much for the 90% of the things I do like. And I think the community in general is in the same place. But they haven't, because they said like when it's done, we're going to put it on GW's website as a PDF, and they haven't done that. So we're just kind of like okay,
it's
like,
a little unmanageable right now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like what, like, you know, is it done? Like we don't want to make it official, and then like the next week they make it official and they change a bunch of stuff because that would be a huge pain in the butt. You
would think that they would coordinate. I know you said you knew a little bit about the behind the scenes with the whole Sisters and Custodes thing, but you would think they would coordinate with the TO, the bigger event TOs as to, you know, when they're going to drop this stuff, because obviously you guys being in February, Adepticon being March, April, I think it's March this year. You would want that to be out in at least a month before your event. So there isn't any like gotchas, you know, like
100%. Like we want to give people like 3 months because some of the changes in the GWFAQ will literally
changes the meta drastically, especially in an ITC style event. It's a completely different story.
Not being able to put guys in drop pods that aren't, the same faction.
People whose entire armies are built around that right now.
Yes.
Yep.
And if it's going to happen, we'd rather know now, right? And then there's some people in ITC that are expressed the opinion that they'd like to finish the season with the same rules, and I get it. So it's weird, like we've been stalling, trying to wait to see what's going to happen, but GW communicates with like TOs and stuff a lot more than they have in the past. But I don't know when it's going to happen, right? Like I don't have any, special information. So I think what we're going to have to do is just put it to a vote again, like want to use it or not. And if we say no, even if they ratify it, we're not going to use it until after the LVO, just because it's not fair.
So
it sucks.
Because you don't want it, because they're going to change it. It's not everything in there is going to make the cut. Like the drop pod ruling, obviously, was the back lash from that drop pod ruling. Clearly, GW is not oblivious to the fact that drop pods can't displace
there's a lot of small details, in fact, that even they have said, and that's why it was a draft. So I think there are going to be some changes for sure.
Yeah, so it's not worth saying this is the FAQ and then it changes again. Yeah.
I bet money they change stuff because they have rulings that contradict each other, and they acknowledged. They're like, oh yeah, shit.
Yeah, and plus to the whole drop pod thing.
One thing here. Yeah.
So we're on this subject. I want to talk about I want to blow it out, put it on the open. The GW secret summit meeting between all the grand potato peelers of all the various tournament organizers in the land. I heard that some Nova people, some Adepticon people, and some Frontline Gaming people recently were at a meeting at GW headquarters. What's up?
Yeah, it was incredible. I mean, I never expected to get that phone call in my life, but GW has definitely turned a new leaf. There's new people that are in positions to make decisions that are very, very much just like all of us on this call. There are people that are passionate about everyone at that company is passionate about what they do. I was blown away. Like they have a wall in the cafeteria of people that have been with the company for more than 10 years. And it's like more than half the company. Like they consider you to be a rookie until you hit year 10. There's people that are like, awesome. Dude, there's people who you're like 35 that work in the factory. It's not, that company puts their employees first. Like they genuinely care about the people that go to work every day at Warhammer World in Nottingham. There's like 500, there's like between 400 and 500 people that work there. It's so much bigger than I thought.
Well, they do the production and they have like the full-on play area, the museum and all that, right? In the offices. Yeah.
I mean, it's a big corporation. Like they put their employees first, and you can really, really tell that they are there for the long haul. Like it was cool, man. And everyone there like genuinely loves what they do. Even the people that don't play the game, like some dude who works in like order fulfillment or in the factory or the receptionist, but they passionately care about the company. It was really cool to see it.
That's awesome. That's really cool to see. I mean, obviously they always say, hey, we hire based on your attitude and what what you're bringing to the company, not necessarily your qualifications. So it's really cool to see that sort of thing, and in real life, because I'm sure you've had dealings with GW here in the States, and it's always been kind of a little bit different. Like since they don't do the manufacturing here, you don't really see quite. There obviously isn't 400 to 500 people working in Memphis or even working in Baltimore at its heyday. I don't believe, but you didn't really see that stuff there in Baltimore that I ever saw. But of course, that was like 10 years ago. So completely different company, apples to oranges at this point. But that's a sign of a good, healthy company from my perspective.
Yes, it's good to see that there's not 4 people in a basement somewhere doing this. Like it's actually a legitimately epic sized company.
Were you able to walk by their Rules Beats lab?
Yeah, we did get to interact with some people. Like it was funny. Phil Kelly came in, and he was like, "Hey, I remember you." And I was like, "How because he and I like hung out at Games Day like forever ago. And like we rapped out for like a long time because I was like, he was my favorite codex writer. And he remembered me. I was like shocked. I was like, I was so flattered. I was like, you gotta be kidding me, man. Like, and it was really cool. Got to rap out with him. And if you ever have a chance to go to Warhammer World, it's incredible. Like their game area, each table is a work of art. There's a ton of them. Old world, right? Like there's like, they've got a pub, Bugman's in there, and it's like super, you feel like you go back in time, and the museum is astounding. It is mind-boggling. They have 3 people whose full-time job is to make dioramas that are like, it's insane.
Yeah, they're all ridiculously over the top.
Yeah. Yeah, it's worth the money to go check it out. It's like $10 or something like that. But we did get to talk to a couple people, and that was really cool. But for the most part, I mean, everyone's super nice. I shook Jervis Johnson's hand. He's a super, super nice guy. Just really cool, man. It's just cool to meet people that, you know, I've read about and White Dwarf, just like you guys, and to just hang out with them very briefly. But predominantly, like, they want to get involved with the community again. They want to turn around.
That was my next question. It's like, is GW coming back? Are they back?
Yeah.
Because it's been so long since they left us. I don't know. I mean, I'm ready to move into an apartment with them at this moment if they would have it. But, like, where we at?
Yeah. They want to take the relationship to the next level too, Kenny. It's reciprocal. Like, there's people in there that have been with the company for like 10, 15 years now. And they're now just got to the point where they can like actually, they have like a little bit of more influence, I would say. And they want to go out and they want to be a part of the community. They want to help tournaments grow. They want to have a positive image on the internet. They want to talk to people. They want to listen to their customers. They want to give their customers what their customers are asking for.
Social media is an amazing tool if you utilize it appropriately.
Well, I think they've gone a long way to doing that in the last 6 months. I mean, it's been such a massive change. I still laugh every time I see it, but a lot of times they'll post something and somebody will post back, you know, what have you done with the real GW? It's such a change, but it's positive. It's great. It's what we've always wanted.
It's super positive, man. Like, it was like a dream come true, man. First of all, it's just like stupidly awesome to just be there and have them invite us out. Like, and have them go, thank you for everything you do. I was just like dumbstruck. It was so.
That's really good to hear, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it was just like, I never, ever thought that would happen ever. And it's just a sign of like, this is the new, like, warmer.
It seems like it's about team ups, and it seems like it's been a lot of competition for a long time. Like, you know, all the way back in the day, everyone's got an idea. Everyone thinks their idea is better than somebody else's idea. No one wants to work with each other. Are you saying that Adepticon, Nova, you know, Frontline Gaming, are you saying that, like, and GW, you saying that that's not the case?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's on the same team now, like, for sure. And I mean, it's not like they don't call us and ask us, you know, like, ooh, what do you think about this or that? It's like, it's more like they reach out to us and like, how can we help you grow the Las Vegas Open? How can we help grow the scene? Like, what would be cool? Would it be cool if we started doing this thing that we used to do again? Do you think that would be well received? So they talk to us about stuff like that, but mostly they just want to support us because they know that the events, the people like that are podcasting like yourselves, that are out there promoting the product and like basically being their marketing team, they see the value in that and they want to help make it more successful. It's awesome, man. It's like,
I'm sure they see the success in some of the events, especially like LVO, and they want to, again, even make it even better than it is. But I know that they see the success and they want to kind of get their foot back in the door and expose themselves to the community as a whole again. I think it's really exciting.
They've got to realize that, like, LVO, people like Adepticon, LVO, and Nova, Adepticon kind of being one of the first juggernaut in our industry, they've taken it to a place that it has never been before. And
yeah, 100%.
GW is honoring you, and they recognize that. They're like, we never took it this far. These guys did.
It's incredible, right? And like, we told them too. I was like, you know, I went to Adepticon when I was young for the first time, and I was like, my mind was blown. I didn't think that anything like that was possible. To see that many people coming together to share like the love of the hobby and like smiling and having fun and like seeing each other year after year. it was like, I was like, I got to get involved with this. And then when we saw like Games Day and how excited people got when I saw the UK GT or Nova Open, like start from the ground up and build something cool over here on the West Coast, it was like, hey gang, like we can do this too. Like, let's do it. And it's just the passion of it. You know, it's the excitement and the love of it. That's what drives everything. And that's kind of to segue a little bit. Like that's what the ITC is about. Like a lot of people don't understand why we did it. We did it to help other people to realize their dream, to build an event, to build a league, to build their community. But to bring it back on topic, one of the coolest things about the way GW is doing this is that they're being like so chill and humble about it. They're not coming in and saying, oh, we're going to show you how to do it better. They're like, you guys are already doing it really well, meaning all of us, like Adepticon, Nova, everybody. They're like, how can we help take it to the next level? And like, they're coming over. Like the guy, like their main tournament organizer from Warhammer World is flying over to run the Age of Sigmar tournament at the Las Vegas Open.
Oh, is their media team
like,
coming out too? You said their media team?
Yeah. Yeah. The guys in the video that were like jumping in the trash can, like that awesome, funny video.
Yeah, those guys are awesome. They're great.
Yeah. They're cool they are so cool, man. Like Eddie and Rob, they're just like the chillest dudes, man. And like they're the ones coming over to run the media. The guy from Warhammer World that's running the Age of Sigmar event, he wrote the player packet and he was like, this is what I'd like to do. He's like, but it's your event. You change anything you want. I was like,
nah, we're good.
Yeah. I was like, you literally like wrote the book on Age of Sigmar tournaments. Like, I think you know how to do it better than me.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I actually didn't know you were doing an Age of Sigmar event. What? How many people do you have for that? Is that sold out? Like, what's the status on that?
It would have been sold, like, because this is the first year for Age of Sigmar. Like, first of all, the game's awesome. Anybody who hasn't tried it, please do. Like, I was negative on it, and then after the General's Handbook came out, like, the game is so much fun. It's such a fun game. But we were hoping to get 64, like, fingers crossed, toes crossed, if the wind blows in the right direction and this moon and the stars align. And then GW was like, no, you need to go bigger than 64. So we were like, okay, we're at 96 or something right now. Like, I'm astounded.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's great.
Like, it was first year. We had no idea what to expect. And all of a sudden it's like, wow.
100-man event.
Robbie B, you know you want to make that flight, okay? I know you want to play.
Rob doesn't fly anymore since we had some trouble over Denver one time on an airplane together.
I know you want to take the cat
2010,
I think, is the last time I think this was flown.
It was I don't want to talk about it, but it was a traumatic event.
You don't like flying, buddy?
It was bad. It was like almost like we're gonna die. We might as well jerk off. You know.
I don't think it went quite like that.
It was almost that bad.
But it was close. Like when you hear the pilot, like flight attendants sit down, like you know some shit's about to get real.
Yeah, he didn't say shit. He was like, sit down. Like you're like, oh fuck.
And there it was, boom. No, it's I'm interested in the event. I might have to hit up our buddy War Boss Doug about some table war cases because my Beast Claw Raiders are not going to transport well on foam. I can tell you that.
Yeah. The table war cases are dude. When they're at the event, it's such a good product. You have to finagle it a little bit for long distance travel.
What was that?
You have to finagle it a little bit for long distance travel unless you're driving, and then it's no big deal. Flying, you need to put like foam peanuts or something in there. But once you're at the event, it's so good.
It's definitely one of the coolest things I've seen at event. Like I'm trying to pick one up for my orcs that I want to bring to LVO. But as you know, so many things to do, so little time.
Yeah.
It's there's always some. I don't know. We'll take a look at it. You know, maybe we can figure out a reason to drive up there and some places to stop along the way.
All right, I've got one more question before I turn it over to like Haspel for he's got some stuff too. I want to talk. I want to talk about the Pro Tours, how I call it, but that is the ITC circuit. Is that what you guys call it?
Yeah, the independent tournament circuit, the ITC is what.
What do you call like the? That's just the whole tournament tracking system. You know how everyone gets their ITC points? Is that just the ITC, or do you have a different name for that? Yeah, it's just ITC. I mean, we paired up because we knew we needed, because in the early days of the ITC, I was literally manually updating everyone's score by hand. It was so ridiculous.
And it would take me 4 or 5 hours to update the ITC every week in one sitting. It was a nightmare. But I did it. I slogged through it for like a year, and then I had a buddy write me a script, and then that sped it up, but it still took forever. So then we paired up with the guys at Best Coast Pairings, and they wrote an app. It's a real app. Right now it's iOS, but the Android version is like almost done. So you can run a tournament.
But you don't even need the app still works. I mean, it still works just fine on your Android without the app on the website. Like I used it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, you can't, like each individual player can't like log in and do their own thing, but you can just set up like an iPad and the players just walk up and score themselves. We ran the LVO 2016, that 300 people with 3 judges, with 3 staff. That's unbelievable. Like Adepticon has like 10 for 200 people. Like that's the difference in efficiency you get when you use the app. It's so ridiculous. And then everybody can see who's paired up round by round, who won, like who they played throughout the event. And it automatically updates your ITC score too into the ITC database at the end of the event. It's ridiculous. Once you learn how to.
We've been using it here, obviously, on the East Coast for a while now at some of the local game stores, and it's almost—I think it's flawless. We have 0 complaints with it, and it's seamless. Like I said, one person can run an event almost.
Oh yeah, if especially like at your monthly RTT at your store, you don't even like the guy running it can play.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, no one's doing data entry. If anybody's score gets messed up, it's their fault. They're not yelling at the judge. Like. It's infinitely more efficient, but anyway, I highly encourage people to use the app. It makes your life so much easier.
Which app is that again?
It's Best Coast Pairings is the name of the company that built
Best Coast Pairings. Then there it is.
It's an amazing app. I was really blown away by using it. So on the subject of the ITC, like where it's gone with like, because I mean I've talked to people are like obsessed with getting their ITC points. Like people are like driving out 6 hours to get a game in so they can bump up. People are talking about, I'm going to play Assassins because no one's playing Assassins so that I can be the assassin guy. Like people are like finding a different way to go hard in the paint. Is this how you planned it in your Beats lab like 6 years ago? Is this how you mapped it out, or did it just kind of sort of happen?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't realize what it would become. Like the ITC is like my baby, right? Like that. It's something I've been working on for like years and years. Like you can go back on like look at posts of mine on Daka from like 2006, like 2007, when I was like, hey guys, why don't we all play with the same system? Because then it'd be easier to travel and it would make it you could compare the results of events and they'd be more meaningful. And everyone was like, that's sick, let's do it. But then it was like 20 million captains of 20 million ships.
It was exactly like we said earlier. Everyone wants to be the one who's in charge. Everyone's right. Everyone's wrong. We're competing against you. It's my way. And at the end of the day, everyone does have an agenda. And it's about like how noble is your cause, is your agenda. Is the only part of this that you really give a shit about is being in charge of it, then yeah, we're going to have a problem figuring this out. But if you can objectively like take a step back and be like, this is for the, this is how we grow the community. We weren't ready for that 10 years ago. Like, is what you're saying.
It was well, because like I've always said, like I 100% understand why it was hard to get everybody moving in the same direction, because I was like in the behind the scenes, all the TOs talk to each other all the time. And we always have. We've always been friends. And we've always been like, hey guys, why don't we all use the same format? And everyone's like, that's a great idea. Let's use mine. And it's because the personality type that takes it to take the risk to run like a GT or major level event, because there's a financial risk involved, there's a ton of administration. That same personality type, it's usually an A-type person. They're the same personality type is going to have a lot of confidence in their ideas, and it's going to be a little bit more resistant to using someone else's ideas. And it's sometimes it's like an ego-driven thing, but mostly it's just a personality thing. And for years, I was like, okay, let's all compromise. Let's all take one part, our favorite part from all of our systems, and put it in the boiling pot, and then we'll pull out the system. And it just like, people just weren't willing to compromise. So eventually we were just like, you know what, like, Matt out there, and the magic ingredient, what I've told people every time, the thing that made the ITC work is when we let go of control. Is we just said, you know what, everyone in this community has good ideas. Everyone has a right to express their creativity. Everyone has a right to do things, to tweak the system a little bit. So instead of saying you have to do it my way, we said, here's a system that works for us. It's been run through the paces hundreds of times. You can take this and help you to run your event, and we will do everything we can to help you make your event a success. But if you want to change anything, go ahead, because it's your event and it's for your community. And that was it. That was the magic ingredient that made the ITC work where the other formats didn't take off. And over the years of just hustling and working hard and manually updating thousands of scores every week, which drove me insane, to the point now we have a sick app and we've got over 4,200 people participating on 5 different continents. We have hundreds of events every year. So it's like crazy. I can't believe how popular it got, how quickly it got popular. And it's just been like amazing to see it take off and how excited people are getting. And the vision for the future is that, it's funny you called it a pro tour, Kenny, is that the vision, the dream that Frankie and I had at the beginning was for people to be able to supplement their income or get their hobby for free, or maybe even make a living being a traveling tournament player.
That, I mean, good. I mean, God, I would be like, and the thing is, that's like, because I did listen to you guys spoke at Twitch a little bit about the struggles of streaming tabletop games and everything like that. It is a struggle. What we do is not mainstream in any way, and there's a lot of problems with what we do as far as making it mainstream. Like, we play a game for 3 fucking hours.
Yeah,
and it's basically the story can be told essentially by taking like 5 pictures, 5 photographs. You know what I mean? Because it's models that just sit on the table and we're talking it out. We're expressing ideas together. We're remembering rules. So it's not a lot of action, and the struggle of getting people to understand how amazing it is. We're right there, like with Twitch blowing up now, live streaming, pushing the creative scene so hard. Like, I feel like something's going to happen in 2017. The tipping point is coming.
I have to jump in here real quick because we're talking about streaming. Somebody had made a suggestion to us like a long time ago, and we were unable to implement it as of yet. But I'm going to throw this out to Reece because it sounds like it could make your live streaming like really good. They were talking about in between game turns, pulling the players aside and doing almost like a confessional like they do on the reality TV shows, where you ask them, okay, like what didn't you expect to happen that turn that kind of screwed up your plan? How are you going to react? What's your plan now? What are you going to do? And then that way people who are watching it know what they're trying to do. And obviously you'd have to keep them separate so they don't hear what the other guy's going to do. And then you could watch and play and see how it plays out in real time, like kind of like the mind of the tournament gamer that we do. Except
how awesome would that be if you had if you did that one time, Reece, and it was like, let's say it was Thomas Doughboy versus somebody else equally ludicrous, and it was literally like the celebrity confessional, on a reality show, like was between the scenes. Imagine that. I mean, that could break, dude. Like that can.
And you nailed it, right? Like you guys just in a couple of minutes expressed some of the challenges. Like, Kenny, you live stream, you know how difficult it can be. And the real problem with 40K is that it's such a long game. 7th edition is like, I love the game and I love 7th, but there's some things I really don't like about it. In regards to trying to convey it as a viewing event. And that's one of them, is that it takes a really long time. It's a brilliant game, and the tournament scene is just going crazy right now, which is amazing and a testament to the popularity of 40K at the present time. But it's really challenging to stream it because, like you said, it's such a long game. And Mike, like you said, it'd be great to take time in between turns to express what's happening. But then it's like you have to separate the players, and you physically have to be able to do that with your rig and your studio.
Oh yeah, it slows it down and adds another magnitude of complexity.
Moving parts. It's already 100,000 moving parts, and now you just yeah.
The trick, the magic is because when we're playing a game, we're experiencing like a narrative event in our minds. Like you're feeling drama and tension and emotion, and you're telling yourself stories. Sometimes you're telling stories to your opponent, like, "Oh, my captain was such a boss. He the chainsword."
And the viewers have none of that same emotion investment.
You need to be able to convey what's happening in the minds of the player into the mind of the watcher. And that's really hard.
Well, I got something for you,
think-
man. I would recommend, obviously, breaking off and taking somebody into a room, like you said, is too time consuming for a tournament event. But being able to get the thought of the player, like when I'm done with my turn, like the guy videotaping next to me who is narrating on the live stream, I can text him or send him a message of what I'm trying to do, and he can convey that.
Oh, I love it, because I did that with you when you were at Nova. Remember?
Absolutely. Well, I'll send you a message, and we'll talk about what I'm trying to do, and then they can convey that to the live stream.
Oh, I love it. The official text app, literally,
Nice.
just in Austin down there. He says he's feeling pretty confident about this move. Kenny's fucking up. He said he's moving the Sky Rays to the wrong position. Oh shit! Here we go. I'm all with it.
I think that's more beneficial than removing the player from the game.
All of those ideas are great ideas. And I think that if we continue to work together and experiment, matter of time. It's a really challenging goal to accomplish, but I'm 100% confident that we can do it, because
you don't just feel hear and hear all of our hypercriticism of your stream.
Oh yeah.
You want us to just keep telling you how to do your job? That's basically the word. I know you deal with that. I'm just It's 1,000. That's literally all it is all day. So I'm sure you get 100 emails a day like that.
It's like it's like we were talking about off air. Like when people criticize the ITC, it's usually because they don't understand like what our goals are and what we're trying to do. And like I always tell people, like I get criticism every single day. I don't care. It's fine. But just make sure that you're being accurate with your critiques. Because if you're accurately critiquing me, it's providing us an opportunity to improve. If it's something that's inaccurate, then that's not fair. And that's the only time I get upset. Like somebody just the other day was like, oh, thanks to the ITC, you can scout buildings. And I was like, no, thanks to GW Raw, you can scout buildings. Thanks to the ITC, we said you couldn't do that because that's ridiculous. So it's like, it's cool to criticize us, but just make sure you get your facts straight. That's all we ask. You
mean at this moment, this meme accurately conveys my emotion and that I should fact check it before I post it?
My favorite is when someone's like, the ITC guys must play Eldar because Eldar is so good in ITC. I'm like, y'all clearly they all
have not played an ITC event because
Nope.
That is my favorite. That is my favorite when people are like, oh, you're just trying to make your own army better. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you're talking about like 6 years of dedicated work to try and make one of my 12 armies a little better. That would be the stupidest thing you could ever, like, I'm going to jeopardize everything we've built.
And like, where do you even play these armies? Like, how many ITC events do you play in a year, right, Reece?
Like none. Like this, I've played in like 2 tournaments this year.
Hey, Reece, it makes sense if you don't think about it, okay?
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, my mind gets boggled sometimes. I'm like, if you stop and thought about it for like 10 seconds, you'd be like, oh no, that's really stupid.
Haspel, did you have something before Reece has to jet out of here?
Yeah. I did have one question. You answered pretty much everything else, but there was one question. Last year at the LVO 2016, there was an incident with like basically not being able to get water or drinks into the hall, and it made a lot of people salty, caused some problems and everything like that. And I just wanted to get ahead of it and ask, has that been like fixed for 2017?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that, because that was like the only complaint we had from the 2016 event, and it's a valid complaint. And just to explain what happened is usually when you go to a con, there's like water stations all over the place. People are just used to it, and it's good for health. People are usually drinking beer and stuff. We want to make sure that people stay hydrated. And at Vegas, you cannot bring outside food or drinks into the convention hall, and that's going to be the case this year too, just to give people a heads up. But the reason that we didn't have water is because we literally couldn't afford it in 2016. It was going to cost like $26,000 to have water in the hall for the players, and we literally couldn't afford it that year. It was outside of our budget. So I'm not just making that up. It was funny because somebody went and like fact checked us, and they did the math, and they're like, "Holy crap, you guys aren't lying." I was like, "Yeah." But for 2017, 2018, we negotiated into the contract some concessions to cover the water. So there will be stations everywhere, and we're also going to be getting the prices on food down too. It is Vegas prices. Just imagine like you're going to a baseball game. It's not quite that expensive, but it's if you go in with that mentality, it'll make sense, right? Like, but we're basically subsidizing. We're basically going to pay for like 40% of every hot dog you eat so that people can have more affordable food. And that's coming right out of our pocket. We're making sure that everyone's going to have water, and there's going to be drink specials for beer and mixed drinks if you're 21 years of age or older. And we're going to make sure that the food is affordable too, because you can't bring food from outside in. So that's been taken care of.
Yeah, that sounds great. That was like my
that was a major thing
year.
for Hasbro last year.
Yeah, that was kind of a big deal.
No, you're right. 100%. You're right. I hope people understand that it wasn't like we weren't trying to screw anybody. It was like we literally wouldn't been able to have the event. Like we didn't have an extra 26 grand sitting around to make sure everybody had water to drink.
That's insane.
You imagine these conversations you have, like that you walk to the hotel and the guy's like 26 G's for that water. You're like, Frankie, pay the man.
Yeah,
Frankie's
I was
price.
like, I wish we could do that. That's just not realistic. You'd have to be a pretty big business to be able to just be like, oh, sure.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Of course.
But it's all taken care of, and I hope that doesn't make anybody think that they don't want to go. Looking at the registration figures, I don't think it's holding anybody back. But yeah, definitely want to take the time to explain that. So thank you for asking.
Of course. Well, I know you got to get out of here, and you got some important potatoes to peel, as you said earlier.
Yeah, and then just as a parting comment just about the ITC, as I know that a lot of your listeners are probably intrigued about that part of this conversation. Anybody out there that's trying to take their event to the next level and you want help, just ask. We had an event, the Iron Halo GT in Oklahoma. The TO was like on a mission to make his event go to the next level. And he flew out here to have like a strategy meeting. You don't have to go that far, but he came on the stream. He was willing to like fly myself and Frankie out to the event. He's a travel agent, so he gets really good deals. But he was on a mission to take his event to the next level. And so we did everything that we could to help him. And his event went from like, if I remember correctly, like 26 to like 80 people in 1 year. It was nuts. Like he turned his event.
That's more growth than the LVO.
Yeah, percentage-wise, 100%. Like, and he was stoked, man. He was so pumped to see the growth of his event, because now it's going to be like, that's one that's on the map. Like, that's a major event. And anybody out there that's got that ambition and you want to take it to the next level, that is what the ITC is for. Like, we will do everything that we can to help you make your event a success, because the rising tide lifts all ships. If more people are playing and more people are traveling to events, more events it's going to be less of a risk to run one. They're going to be more successful. There's more people that are going to be buying and engaging in the hobby and growing the hobby. It's just nothing but a benefit. Like, we don't feel like it's competition to our own events. So just reach out. We got some guys in Denmark that are trying to get the ITC going there, and we're like, and to help them. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, just reach out. The squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? Like, reach out. We will help you.
Definitely. Tell everyone where to find you online, obviously, because I know you guys have a Twitter page, a YouTube channel, a blog.
Yeah, it's Instagram, Facebook, just frontlinegaming.org. That's the best way to find us.
Oh yeah, I follow you guys on Twitter. I follow you guys on Twitch mainly. That's mainly where I get my dose from you guys. I definitely recommend anyone, if you don't know what Twitter is, Twitch is, you need to get on Twitch right now and follow Frontline Gaming TV. Follow everything, because it's blowing up right now, man.
Your Twitch has been awesome too. You got it going on with the art, the live art. That's a really cool show, dude.
That's all I got. Like drawings. I wish. No, I mean, like this. I mean, it's changed the game. Like, it's changing the way I paint for a living. Like, where I can reach more people, like as you guys do. Like, instead of just painting a model for somebody, I'm trying to paint one model for everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's been awesome. It's been great having you on the show, Reece. I know a lot of people have been waiting for this interview, but you're a busy man. You know, you're working with a lot of guys, working on bringing hobby back, going to London, playing 40K on secret cruises, doing all these things.
It's been fun, man. Like, I still every now and then take a step back and I'm like, I can't believe I'm earning a living doing something I would do for free. It's
monetize your skills, monetize your passions. That's the American dream.
It is. That's well said, brother.
Anyway, brother, it was great to have you on the show tonight.
Yeah, it was a pleasure being here. Thanks for having me, guys.
What does it mean to be a veteran of thelongwar.net? You are the first in the door to all exclusive content, and your clearance will be raised for the earliest access. You can enlist for free. When you're a veteran of thelongwar.net, you are the front line to bringing hobby back. Join our Hall of Veterans at thelongwar.net.